So Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 starts off with our favourite crew, Task Force 141, under the leadership of General Shepard, and they're conducting a series of missile strikes against the Russian-backed Iranian forces in July of 2022. Now, during an arms deal in Al-Mazrah, an American ballistic missile strike hits and assassinates Iranian General Ghorbrani. Now, as a direct result of this assassination, the Quds Force Major Hassan Zyani, Ghorbrani's second-in-command, begins to fund terrorist activity and seeks his revenge on the United States. Now, all of this activity draws the attention of General Shepard and CIA Station Chief Kate Laswell. Together, they both order US MARSOC Marines, led by Task Force 141 operators Ghost and Soap, to try and apprehend Hassan in Al-Mazrah. Oh, and by the way, Al-Mazrah is a fictional region somewhere in the made-up United Republic of Adal. Now, Ghost and Soap actually failed their mission to try and capture Hassan in Al-Mazrah, but during the mission they actually discovered that he was in possession of American ballistic missiles. And that starts off the question, how did Major Hassan get hold of American ballistic missiles? To try and get some more info, Laswell and Task Force 141 operatives Captain Price and Sergeant Gaz pursue one of Hassan's couriers in Amsterdam, where they learn that Major Hassan has received protection from new allies, the Las Almas cartel, and is said to be in Mexico. So next up, try and capture Major Hassan in Mexico, and again unfortunately they're met with disappointment when they fail to do so. So what do they do to try and capture Hassan? They bring in all of the big guns. And this is where we see one of the biggest crews being put together in this storyline. We have the Mexican Special Forces, Alejandro and his second-in-command, Rudy, and their unit of Los Vaqueros. We also see Ghost and Soap alongside the Shadow Company, which are private military contractors under the command of Shepard, led by its commander, Philip Graves. And their sole mission is to capture Major Hassan. Now, things get a little bit messy, but they are successful in capturing Major Hassan this time around. But to avoid political backlash by doing so, they're forced to let him go. In the process of all of these missions, the team discover that the Las Almas cartel are actually in possession of Russian-made GPS devices, specifically for missiles. Now, going on to a bit of a tangent away from the main storyline, during all of this activity, Chief Laswell ends up being captured by a terrorist group from Urzikstan known as Al-Qatala. So next up, the mission is to retrieve Chief Laswell. So Price and Gaz head to Urzikstan, and with the help of their old allies from Modern Warfare 1, Nikolai and Farah Karim, they manage to get Laswell back. So a little bit of a side quest there, but it fills the story out quite nicely. Meanwhile, back on the main storyline, Alejandro and Soap manage to capture the Las Almas leader El Sin Nombre, who is revealed to be Alejandro's former teammate Valeria Garza. Now, Valeria doesn't gatekeep any information. She reveals the locations of the missiles, which prompts a raid led by Task Force 141 alongside the Shadow Company and the Mexican Special Forces to prevent this missile launch. Now, despite stopping these missiles and the success of this mission, we now come to the classic betrayal scene where Philip Graves and his Shadow Company turn on Alejandro and Task Force 141 under the orders of General Shepard. So they stop this missile launch, but Graves turns into a baddie. They have a bit of a scrap. The Shadow Company capture Alejandro and hold him hostage, while they're forcing Ghost and Soap to flee from the scene. And the Shadow Company don't just take Alejandro, they also take his base of operations as well. So you guessed it, next up, the next mission is to save Alejandro, and again they hire in pretty much everyone. The Las Vaqueros, the Mexican Special Forces, Price, Gaz, Ghost, Soap, everyone just to try and get back Alejandro, and of course with that crew, they're successful. But during all of this, Laswell reveals that Shepard and Graves were responsible for an illegal missile transportation mission back in August. This mission was meant to aid American allies in the Middle East. But during the transportation of these American ballistic missiles, the Shadow Company were ambushed by a Russian PMC. The result of the ambush, 3 American ballistic missiles going missing. And because of the embarrassing failure of this transportation mission, Shepard is forced to cover up the failure. Now, when Price learns about all of this new intel, he draws up a plan to retake the Los Vaqueros base of operations that the Shadow Company took from Alejandro a couple of missions ago, and he also chucks in a little promise to pursue General Shepard when the threat is eliminated. In the penultimate mission, Task Force 141 and the Los Vaqueros succeed in retaking the Los Vaqueros base of operations, and they also make sure they get their own back on Commander Philip Graves by getting rid of him. After a little bit of balance has been restored to the Los Vaqueros side of the story, they also learn from Valeria that Major Hassan and the American ballistic missiles are actually in Chicago. So the team heads back to Chicago and manage to put a stop to Major Hassan's terrorist attack plan and kill him. In the aftermath of all this, General Shepard goes into hiding, as you expect. If you've got Captain Price coming after you, probably good to hide. While Laswell informs Task Force 141 of a new threat, the new leader of the Russian ultra-nationalists responsible for General Shepard's botched missile transportation operation, and Price identifies this new leader as Vladimir Makarov. Now this cliffhanger leaves Modern Warfare 2 open-ended, set up nicely for a sequel. So whether it's going to be Modern Warfare 3, Roman numeral 3, whether it's going to be Modern Warfare 2, who knows? But it looks like there is unfinished business in this story and we might be getting another one. And there we go guys, that is the campaign summary for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. If you enjoyed this video guys, let me know by dropping a like on it down below. We are on the road to 3,000 subscribers, so big love to anyone who leaves a like or a comment on the channel. I really appreciate it. Thank you for staying tuned to the video. As always, feel free to subscribe to the channel for all of the latest Call of Duty news, tips and tricks, how-tos, class setups, and much more.